What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another challenge workout video. This time around, it's 1,000 push-ups, which is honestly very realistic and way easier than the 500 pull-up challenge. The strategy is very simple. What I want you to do is 6 push-ups, followed by 10-15 seconds of rest, repeat 2 more times, and then rest 30 to 60 seconds. So what we have is 6, 6, 6, rest, repeat. If you follow this correctly, the workout is going to be very fast. So I'm just showing you the first set with the correct pacing to give you an example of how it's done. And actually, as we go further into this workout, I start speeding up everything. Otherwise, the clips are literally over 20 minutes. So we have a lot of footage, but the training itself is not as long. You might be able to get this done in 2 hours or less. Like, I can tell you that the first 500 push-ups, which keep in mind took me 3 hours to do on regular pull-ups, only took 45 minutes for this, and that's pretty amazing. So it's a much easier challenge, but still, you gotta challenge the mind. A lot of guys don't know how to divide these types of reps, and I got inspiration from this after seeing this dude pull off 1,000 pull-ups in a really short amount of time. What I noticed is that he kept doing 6 reps every 10-15 seconds, and I was like, you know what, that could probably be done on push-ups as well. Because my original plan was to do 10 reps followed by a minute rest. And I was going to keep doing that all the way to 1,000. But I realized that's going to take a lot more time. Or at least doing 6 push-ups every 30 seconds. But I thought to myself, like comparison, right? A lot of us are doing heavy bench press. A lot of us can do much more reps on the push-up compared to the pull-up. It wouldn't be as practical to divide everything within that time frame. You end up just lounging around. You're just sitting. This, on the other hand, is extremely intense in the sense that there's a conditioning aspect. Like, I was sweating quite a bit from this workout, and I was really, really hot. The burn was absolutely intense, and actually I woke up with insane DOMs. I've been sore for a good 3 to 4 days now. Yeah, a lot of these workouts are done in advance, just so you know. I would say that the first thing I noticed was the shoulders, then the triceps, then the pecs. But honestly, right now, it's all synergistic. Everything is absolutely wrecked. And if you plan on doing these workout challenges on a frequent basis, I recommend 1 time a week. But they're really not as hard as you think they are. Like, the strategy is very simple. It's 6, 6, 6, repeat, man. It's freaking devil training, you know what I'm saying? So right around here, you're seeing that I'm starting to speed up the clips. Trust me, this is what you want to see. Otherwise, they're going to be here for a long time, and I don't think I have the capacity to talk that long, right? So back to the training itself. In regards to form, I would strongly recommend that you do it prisoner style. You are not a calisthenics athlete. This is not the perfect push-up tutorial, okay? And there's nobody that I've ever seen in YouTube Fitness that does flawless form for 1,000 reps. No one does it, including 500 reps. It's something that you do just to get a high total workload. Over 100,000 pounds of work if you want to quantify like that, right? It's realistic, but also your form doesn't have to be super crisp. The only requirements that I have is your chest and your chin must meet the ground at the same time, therefore doing a full range of motion for your anthropometry, while maintaining scapular retraction. You don't have to protract at the top. You don't have to lean forward pseudo-planche style. And you don't have to maintain a perfect anterior pelvic tilt. Yeah, you might want to do that for more specific type training if you're trying to learn the planche and stuff like that. But let's be real. If you're just trying to get big and strong at home, really conditioned, this will get the job done. And I've seen some guys that are using much worse form than me. So what I'm doing right now is definitely not perfection. You can easily call it out. You can even argue that it's not as clean as my pull-up training, but hey, we're banging this out really, really fast. Like I said, the first 500 took less than an hour, and I'm not even joking. You could do the same thing. So it's all about using the form that kind of maximizes our leverages, right? And I recommend that scapular retraction at all times because it'll protect the shoulder blades, for one. And secondly, it affects the range of motion in a slight way, while allowing you to get this done much quicker. Like, if you have to protract after every single repetition, you're going to have a problem. It's just not going to be as feasible. So don't worry so much about the form. I don't need perfection. I just want to look clean enough, right? And I think that most of you will agree that this looks fine. And another strategy I can tell you to do is experiment with the grip widths. This will have a major effect on fatigue, because sometimes you'll notice that your pecs and shoulders are a little bit more tired, but your triceps aren't. So that's where you narrow in the grip. Or maybe you're getting a little bit of wear and tear on the shoulders. That could happen, right? So experiment with close, medium, wide, in addition to turning out the hands. Actually, the more neutral your hands are, the less shoulder pain you're going to experience. Because keep in mind, this is a lot of volume. And Yeah, when you do push-ups, your body is moving through space, and there's much less scapular restriction compared to a bench, especially if you're on those super narrow pads, right? But still, it could be a little bit stressful on the joints when you're hitting these types of volumes. That's why I don't recommend you do this on a super frequent basis. But keep in mind, a lot of prisoner style workouts, it's push-ups to failure every single hour, or push-ups on the daily, baby please, or even just high volume in general. And of course, you have to adapt to this. So that's gonna be the next thing I'm gonna tell you. Like, if you're not conditioned enough to blast it through like the way that I'm doing it, feel free to increase the rest intervals. And if you really, really have to, drop a set. So do 6-6, then rest and repeat. Like what you'll notice in my case is that I do 6-6-6 in most cases, but sometimes I'll do 6-6-6-6. So I do 4 sets instead. This way I get it done much quicker, right? And the way I track everything is very simple. We have a piece of paper with 16 little lines, actually 17. The first 16, you write 6. The 17th one, you write 4. Because if you do 16 sets of 6, that is 96 repetitions. So to get 100, to make everything balanced, you got to at least hit some 4s in there. So that's what I recommend. And you want 10 rows of that. So I would base it off how tired you feel. Now, sometimes I rush it through, sometimes I don't. The thing with me is that I'm trying to get all these clips recorded for you. I only have so much memory in addition to battery, and I want to do this all in one shot. I don't want to have to be taking breaks, you know? I don't have to eat a meal. I don't have to come in hours later. No, I just want to get this over with one shot. We're done. So I often do 4 little segments, but the majority was 3, okay? So that's how you would divide everything. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it's really not as hard as you think. Yeah, you're going to be pumped. You're going to be sweating. You're going to be exhausted, but it's not super duper intense. Okay, this is really an endurance thing in addition to your overall mindset. And 6 is very strategic in the way that fatigue is not accumulating at a rapid rate. Like with my original plan, which is going to be reps at 10, I would imagine that it would be really easy at the start, but then maybe later on towards, say, past 500 mark, it'll start getting more difficult. Like when you saw my 500 push workout, I was doing diamond push-ups off the knees, right? And I can admit that after rep 10, it was most certainly getting difficult. And in this particular workout, I noticed that around rep 700 is when things started getting a little bit more challenging. The first 500 really wasn't really that much of a problem. I would say the first 400 were pretty easy, just blasting through at a very rapid rate. Like honestly, it was quick. But then a little bit more challenging, then all of a sudden I started feeling a little bit. And that's exactly where I'm gonna stop speeding up the reps, since now you're starting to see me struggle a bit. So it's around this point where the fatigue started getting pretty intense. And you're going to see that very clearly, how my body's starting to slow down, right? And my form is breaking down a little bit. So look at that, man. Starting to add some rest pauses in there. It is what it is. And at this point, there's no way you're breaking it up into sets of 4. You're just doing what you got to do to get the bare minimum out of the gym. But it's not as long as you think, like I said. And over here, you see a little cat coming in. She's always curious about my training, you know. She's like my little workout partner. And yeah, I keep going. We repping this out. And at this point, that's when the mindset kicks in. But it's not as bad as the pull-up workout because you haven't been training for that long. And the only real pain you're experiencing is a crazy pump. But it's not like your hands are completely ripping open. It's not like your body is so dead that you can't do basic push-ups. Like just that mini rest pause of 10 seconds like I showed you at the beginning of this video is enough to get your groove back. So that's why it's not as intense. This is really a mindset workout. And I would say that if you want to match the 500 pull segment, you might have to do another 500 of these, or maybe 300. I would say 250 to 300. That's what we can talk about being very comparable, because for this, I never had to rest 3 minutes. Actually, that's not true. The only times I had to do that were for many little breaks, which I'm gonna recommend you do as well, right? Like let's say every 100 reps, you take a 3-minute break just to make sure that all that fatigue is gone. Yeah, you're still gonna have to pump, but it'll allow you to get some cleaner form in there. And that's something that it's not going to make a huge difference in terms of overall time investment, right? It's not like you're going to be in this living room all day, wherever you may be training at. It just extends it very slightly, but it's worth it because it reduces some of that stress. So that's something I advise. Take a little break, let's say 2 to 3, but you don't need 5 for this, just saying. And you're good, repeat. And worst case, let's say you're at rep 500, man. maybe have a protein shake or something, you know, or some fruit, something that's easy to digest, not stressing your system out too much. And honestly, you'll be perfectly fine. So there you have it, guys. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I can actually say that I wasn't completely exhausted after doing this. I still did some errands. It was a great day. And I'm really happy that I did this workout just to show you how it's done, give you an actual plan that is very possible. Like that 500 pull workout, yeah, you got to be pretty strong at pull-ups. But for these, dude, you can pull this off. I'm telling you right now, it's totally doable. So hope this motivates and inspires you. Get those push-ups in. Again, don't stress too much about the form. Get that volume in and work on that mindset. I'm telling you, by completing this, you can be that much stronger on a physical and mental level. So here's the final set, and that's all I got to say, guys. Last set, we only got 12 reps remaining, so let's finish it strong. Done, over 1,000. You did it, guys. It's all a mindset. If you can push yourself through the pain, you too can get 1,000 push-ups. It doesn't take that long, honestly. Okay, guys, we just completed 1,000 push-ups, so I hope you try this out as well. It's honestly realistic and easier compared to the pull-up challenge. So more workout videos on the way. Keep making those gains at home, and I'll see you in the next one.